Hello, tying it all together, tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Shining Force 3 with me, BlueAnkylo, where we're about to run into a couple characters that, well, you might not have seen a whole lot during the Let's Play, but every time you load the game, you know, it might be these two. And I just want to say before I get too started here, before I get too far, the last couple episodes I was a little bit off. I took a bit of a break there, so sorry about that if I sounded a little bit low energy or some such. I don't know what was getting into me, but something about losing that map on the battle with with Julian there getting killed, it put me off my game a little bit. But hopefully everything's back to the typical happy Ankylo you love. So, last episode we saved the village from monsters, I guess, and then they made us sleep underground in the monster den, and now it's the next day, and guess everybody's rested up, and we've come to visit Master Gabriel. Welcome, Gracia, Julian, and King Benetram, representatives of the Republic. I look like a gnome. You know us? Have I met you before? I'm very fond of traveling. I met you earlier in your journey. I remember. There are 3 of you. We met you earlier on our journey, but I'm sorry, I don't remember. Don't worry. Many things have happened on your journey. I'm not surprised you don't remember me. But the only way to our homeland is through the gate of the Great Wall. How did you get there? Ground travel is not the only way, Dawnhort. One can go by air or sea as well. You seem to know me as well. Who are you, old man? Hold on, you two. That is not important right now. What's important is that Gracia participates in the evolution ceremony in order to become an innovator. That is our first priority. Regarding our kill and remotest, you'd better see with your own eyes. Alright, helicopter turn on. How would we do that? From the air, dear Kate. Ah! Don't worry, Isabella. This is just the house taking off. You get used to it after a lifetime. The house is taking off! You've seen this happen! You know they fly! Seriously, guys, get over it. I'm not even gonna speak anymore, because, like, this is ridiculous. You are very independent. The nerves of the wolf are steadier than the others. Sure they are. Whatever. Well, everyone, shall we go outside? Yeah, just step right outside to that front door. Probably just a 20-meter drop, no big deal. I just mean, like, why would you be surprised that the house will fly and you'll be up in the air when you've seen these things flying around already and going up and down? Oh, so they've got a nice little balcony on the roof. That makes more sense. You go out the back door, you just go upstairs. It's cool. Our kill is over there. You mean over there in the desert? It's named Our Hill, but the hill doesn't look very sacred. The ground appears to be a desert. Your first trial is to transform it into a hill. Get your shovels ready. Transform a desert into a hill? What kind of trial is that? That is what Primula says, but it's probably not a hill, more like an ancient monument. So, if I pass the test, the monument of evolution will appear? Is that what you mean? Yes, Gracia, you seem to understand. Gracia's innovator powers will be clearly visible at the ancient monument. Can we proceed to Bozone Temple from there? Yes, you can. I will show you the temple as well. We'll bring the house above the clouds. Up, up, and away! Hope no one's got, like, motion sickness or anything. Or, afraid of heights, now that we're above the clouds. That might be a little bit much. Yeah, we're really up here. Woo! Yay! It's kind of cold. We have reached the correct elevation, but the machine can't keep us at this height for long. If we stay here chatting for too long, the machine will break down and we'll all fall to our deaths. You should be able to see remotest from here. Clouds are rather thick. Can you see the temple? So, no. The answer is no, we can't. Oh, there we go. We're good. You can see through the clouds. That is the capital remotest. Further away is Bullzome Temple. To the left and right of the temple are square towers. I wonder. What's the matter, Banditrim? The temple is on the mountain. How do we reach it? Right, yes, how? Elder, I believe it's written in the old book. It should be written in there somewhere. Also, I'm a little bit worried you're going to fall to your death if we stay up here much longer. Oh yes, it's in a book! Take a look! It is time to lower the house before we all die. He like stumbles down the stairs, breaks his ankle, and then we're done. Look, he's old. Old people trip every now and then. Sad state of life. Clearly, he's an ancient old wizard. The air is so clear up here. You mean thin, and you didn't get enough oxygen. Elder, how will we reach the temple on the mountain? Right, yes. What would you do? What should you do? Master Gabriel, just read the book. Could you get the old book? I'm tired. Until the old book arrives, which will be oh so long, I would like Primula to aid you. She will be very helpful. Take her with you and keep her out of my house. Take her with us? That means she'll join the army? She used to live in the town of Enric. She took part in the battle against the Vandal there and knew Julian very well. I don't remember her. Gelm was living there, and so was Julian's father. The young Julian was a small boy, not particularly strong or handsome, but he has grown to become very strong and handsome. We are grateful for your help, but you're a fairy. It's true, I'm not as physically strong as you are, Sir Knight. I told you to stop calling me Knight. Primula will be of great use, Julian. Never mind that she's an annoying fairy and I would need to get her out of my house so I can get a good night's sleep. Her abilities have increased substantially over the last years. Sure. Well, she knows this area, so at least she'll be able to guide us. Not like we have a choice. Alright, we've got ourselves a fairy that we'll probably not use. But, you know, it's all good. I have been training with Master Gabriel, so I believe I can help. What happened to the man that went looking for the old book? He's been gone at least 10 seconds. Yeah, what happened? Right. The old book of the temple. What happened? You look pale. What happened? Speak up, young man. The old book of the Dark Temple is nowhere to be found. What do you mean? Surely the book has not been gone missing. Well, something may have happened earlier. What do you know about this? Well, just before you came home, the Bullzome sect visited the village. Something might have happened then. Bullzome sect has been visiting this village pretty often. Aren't you suspicious of the evil sect of monks summoning vandals? They always visit in the darkness, and things often tend to vanish. I thought you guys had a flying city to avoid things like that. Some small broken things and old tools. I've heard the same thing. When they visit, things often disappear. Last time they visited, we checked if anything was missing, but we didn't notice anything. Right. It was back then. These villagers are useless. We saved the old book for 1,000 years to prepare for your visit, and then the day before you show up, some Bolzone monks that we knew are evil came and stole the book because my villagers are idiots. Great. It's not your fault. It's his fault. Kill him. If this is indeed the work of Bolzone monks, why would you let them in the village and stealing anywhere inside your houses that you can fly away with? Should we proceed to our kill? Yes, just get out of here. These guys are useless. Exactly. Julian, if they are trying to keep us here, we should leave. Then we will proceed towards Gracia's evolution, Julian. We will worry about the other things later. Trivial details they are. Elder, we will proceed to our kill in order to evolve the spirit within Gracia. Forgive me, Brennithrim. I beg you. Please stop Bolzone, who's clearly evil, and his followers we still let into our homes for no reason. You must not have tried very hard. That explains why Bolzone doesn't attack Maya, because he can just come in here and steal all your stuff anytime he wants? Is that what you're telling me? Anyway, we've got a town to explore. We did not learn very much from the old man. Each person will have a different experience. Doesn't interfere with our decisions. Kind of reminds me of Volcanon from Shining Force 2, who mostly didn't interfere. Bolzone has snuck... Do you mean the actual Bolzone Vando, or just some of the monks? If the missing book is his doing, other things could be missing too. No, I hope the machine of Saraband... Is the reason Saraband has, you know, somewhat advanced steam technology is they stole it from this village? Like, is that really the answer? Well, let's take a look at these books. Maya's Responsibility, Volume 1. The Mayan civilization exists solely to guard our kill. The knowledge received from Ellison must never be taken out of the village for commercial purposes. Oh, as long as you're not selling it, it's fine. End of the 1,000-Year War. The Spirit Bearer must go to Maya and complete the sacred trial. Important books line the bookcase. One volume appears to be missing. The one about... what? Entering a temple on a mountain? Maya's Responsibility, Volume 2. Maya must protect all knowledge bestowed upon it by the Creator from Remotest for 1,000 years. If that wisdom is lost, defeat is in the 1,000 Years War is assured. Well, you've already failed, so defeat is assured. Congratulations, you've doomed us all. Well, we got ourselves a town. Yeah, we killed the monsters. Joy. That's us. You know where you normally live, yeah? Sure. Sure. You know, if you've got mechanized protection with flying helicopter houses, why don't you just have, like, machine guns or something and just shoot the dogs as they attack? Is that too much to ask? The last remaining legacy of an ancient civilization in the northern region. Yeah. Awesome. So, unfortunately, in this town, we have to ring a bell and wait for a house to drop down to actually get into it. Takes a little bit longer than usual. Hope we get all the loot on the first pass, basically. Like some fairy powder. Joy. Well, speaking of powder, though. Speaking of items, accessories. Don't we have a, an item, yeah, a quick chicken. So it just raises agility. You know, 1,000's pretty slow. Is there anyone else we could speed up? I guess 1,000's the slowest, so we'll bring him up a little bit. You know, 21 agility might mean he doesn't go, like, after the Hellhounds next time. I don't know, it's not like it's a huge deal either way. Ah, yes, we are legendary. So courageous. If an innovator and a vandal were to go head-to-head, I don't think either would come out alive. Oh, that doesn't sound good. What if the innovator's just a child? Does that mean he's doomed? Also, there's, like, possibly more than one vandal, so... I get the feeling all we're gonna get in this house is fairy powder. Alright, is this another house, or what's this? So this house just parks right in the middle of the path. That's kind of rude. How are you supposed to get around the town when these guys land? I do remember in, like, one of the earlier starter towns, there was some large mithril in these boxes, like, maybe in Scenario 1. That was, like, super, super hard to click on. So I'm just trying to check for stuff like that. So it's been 1,000 years you guys have been guarding this hill and the books that just got stolen a day ago. Huh. Oh, Bolzom fell in love with an innovator woman. That woman gave birth to Bolzom's child. Even now, their child lives in remotest. At least, that's how the legend goes. That might give you guys a slight idea of what's going on. Just a little bit of an idea. So the Vandal Bolzom fell in love with an innovator girl. And together they had a daughter, who was part innovator, part vandal. Good and evil. I wonder if we've met anyone like that. Maya, machine maintenance. The cause of machine trouble is, first of all, deterioration due to age. The next biggest cause is lack of lube. So, buy your oil here. In ancient times, instead of humans, robots worked the jobs. My husband is working late every night to restore those worker robots. Look, Medion has a robot. You can just talk to him. People are working at the machine factory. Nice. Hey, a mine map. Okay, make sure we don't sell that one. We want to sell the old ruins map, though. Don't want to hold on to too much inventory, clearly. What happens if you click the controls? Do we just break the helicopter house if we touch that? No one has knowledge of the mechanical technology that Maya inherited. So how... Oh, so you just have to follow the books. Oh, the book that was stolen and given to Garvin. Clearly. We found the door to some ruins in the coal mine, but we can't open the door. Once thieves find it, they'll steal whatever inside. So you mean the map that we just picked up that opens the door to the... Yeah. Right before winter, our work of digging up fuel gets busier. Right, yeah. I guess having a lot of coal over the winter is pretty good. Better than chopping down trees, right? Awesome. Technology. And pollution. It's fine, guys. Don't worry about the air quality. For 1,000 years, they've been at coal and steam tech, and they've not tried anything new since then. Unparalleled. Well, we happen to know in Shining Force 2 we had laser flowers, robots underground, tunnels, and teleporters, and a flying Aztec ship. So maybe it is paralleled somewhere. Just say. Right, and you guys do a terrible job of that. When Elders Go Absent by Gabriel. When we feel so inclined, we will disappear without a word. Until we return, please take care of Maya's inheritance. Every now and then, they gotta go on vacation. Yes, I'm supposed to be here to defend the village, but every now and then I'm just gonna take off and you guys will have to handle it without me. Probably just left the ferry. Well, this place looks pretty cool. Hey, some small mithril. So you just study the machines, read the manuals. I'm really surprised that they haven't made any progress in 1,000 years. In fact, just got worse over time. The broken second and third steam engines disappeared. Oh, don't tell the Elder about it. No, it's fine. It's not like it's been stolen and used to create a floating city of steam tech in a tank. It's totally normal. It's not like there's a book that says if the technology ever leaves Maya Village, the war will be lost and mankind is doomed. Oh good, and some worker robots disappeared. I wonder where it went. Well, that might be Robbie, I guess. I think we found him... Was that near Elbasam Village, actually? I'm trying to remember where he was. I think that was the one with the lightning towers on the way into the temple, Elbasam Temple. Might be where a Mayan worker robot would go, right? Oh, it's not odd at all. No. No, there's steam tech all over the world. What are you guys talking about? There's an entire village that's on a steamboat, basically. You guys make this sound like no one has steam tech anywhere else in the world. Because that would mean that someone stole a book, right? Hey you, I don't care if you're a hero! I can't respect anyone who doesn't drink our ale like a ram. Wow. Get drunk or you're not a real man, by the way. They do have machines in the southern region. The southern region is advancing, yes? Whoa, this guy actually has a face. Is he going to join the team? The ale served here in the north contains a lot of alcohol. It is so strong that your head will almost catch on fire. You are recognized as an adult here if you can drink this ale. I'm afraid to drink the ale. Every time someone takes the challenge, their head lights on fire and they die. But that's how you become a man here. Seriously. Yeah, head explodes. Congratulations, you're a man. Hope you're happy. Well, you did explode. Yeah, I always thought you had a lot of promise. Jeez, these guys. Yeah, something's weird for sure. If Maya doesn't supply the machines, someone else must be making them from other books. So these guys are from Remotest, which is Vandal territory. No. I don't know if you should trust these guys, seeing as that's a village of Bullzo monks, right? Kind of hard to see into this room. We take turns cleaning every day. Yeah, where would you ever get customers? Got one village nearby that's surrounded by monsters on their holy river. I don't know how the economy would work in a small town like this. Born into, you're a maid, so you'll be a maid for your entire life. And you'll be cleaning beds that no one ever visits. Alright, I'm really hoping I find a weapon shop before too much longer. This looks like a weapon shop. Thank goodness. This shopkeeper, even in this day of age, sinking deeper into his games. Hey, Yogi! Oh, is he like not gonna answer if I talk to him or something? Well, he's got a nice beard. So, it might be different than the last one, I don't remember, but it's still mithril weapons, basically. So, if you didn't get the one you wanted at the last shop, I think they're the same, though, honestly. They look like it's the same selection, as far as I can tell. Probably. So, anyway, the real thing is, I really need to sell some stuff. So, like, we probably don't need stuff like this. And we definitely want to sell all of these extra maces. So we should make quite a lot of money. This was actually like a couple battles ago where we managed to pick up all those things. That's... We already did this one. This was north of Oral. We definitely went to there. That was the fourth one for this chapter, I believe. Or this scenario, that is. I'm thinking of just selling the Golem Rod. I don't know. There's too many rods and wands. We can buy it back later if I really want it, but Golem is definitely one of the weaker... Oops. Whatever. Golem is one of the weaker summons. And we have a rod that gives more defense than that one, so it's kind of lost its importance. I don't know if there's any value in Tornado 4 either. Zephyrus is probably better. So I think we'll just sell this. You might find a better Ankh later on anyway, and then we'll pick that up instead. We definitely don't need Platinum Circlets. And, like, usually we'll just keep the regenerative rod equipped. And we've got a, you know, emergency healing Ankh. We've got Phoenix if we want that. We've got Wendigo if we want that. That one also gives you good defense. So in a pinch, you know, you can give her some options for summons and stuff. But, you know, primarily she's got Bolt anyway. Drain's pretty good, so we'll stick with that. Kind of gathering up a few too many healing drops here. And Small Mithril is one more accessory. We'll have to move that. Because Rolly's not in the team anymore, so if we go to the blacksmith, if there is a blacksmith here, we can't use that from here. You know what I mean, right? We'll leave a couple items on there. So Leon's gonna get rid of his heat axe. I know you can use it for blaze too, but I think the Gaia axe was just all around better. Other than that it can't cast blaze too. But keep in mind, Blaze 2 from Leon's only going to do like 8 or 10 damage. And then he could technically use the Saint Mace, and I guess that gives him a regenerative item, but I don't want to have to level up another weapon for him, because it just takes so long. And then that's our new map, that's the coal mine one, so good to have. I guess I'm going to hold on to both of these for now. Actually, you know what, I can check real quick here. It's just weapon properties. So, like, if I go to my weapon list, I wish the game showed you these in somewhere in the game, basically, that you could actually see instead of having to look at a guide. But for lances, the Dragon Lance is considered a magic element attack. That's why it has so many, you know, weapon advantages that you wouldn't normally expect. The Gungnir, although it has better stats, does not have a special attack property. So it has the same attack power as the Dragon Lance. It has a different skill. It actually gives you more of a magic bonus if you're going to cast magic, which doesn't actually matter for her. So there's actually no one that the Gungnir is useful for right now. Hold on, just one more second. I know we're just looking at this flashing here. Who else could use lances that could use a magic damage? Like, it's the second best lance in the game for stats, but you have to be able to equip lances. So I don't know anybody that can equip lances other than like Don Hort, who, I mean, it doesn't matter. He can't cast magic anyway. I don't think it would actually help anybody. Like No, even if you had Edmund, he cannot use lances. Spirial is halberds. Produne is spears. Like, you know, the commanders that get some magic, at least, maybe. So you know what? As much as it is, like, one of the best lances in the game, technically, like, it has a higher value than almost anything else, I don't think it's as good as the Dragon Lance. We can buy it back later if we really change our mind, but honestly, doesn't seem that good. And Produne can't equip these anyway. Then everybody, we have... Okay, let me compare the stats here for the Macho Mace and the Thor's Hammer as well, while I'm looking at my weapons list here. We'll do this all on camera just for fun. So, the Macho Mace, similar to the Gungnir, is a higher tier weapon, sort of, than the Thor's Hammer. And, yeah, here we go. So, they both have a cool special attack. Thor's Hammer has Thunderstorm, which probably does lightning damage, and the Macho Mace does Pressure Bomb, which I think we've seen. Thor's Hammer has the counter, but the Macho Mace has plus defense. The Macho Mace is magic damage, whereas Thor's Hammer is neither. So in this situation, I think the Macho Mace is better. The Macho Man Mace. It's worth more, and it has the magic element, basically. So it should be doing extra damage and criticals just like the Dragon Lance was. And there's definitely a lot of value to that, because it seems like a lot of enemies are weak to magic elemental, basically. So she's still better with the halberd, because she's level 3, but the Macho Mace gives her a couple, like, gives you some different elements. I think Shiny Rapier is holy. I should, like, again, it would be nice to have these all written down. No, Shiny Rapier is actually Demon Elemental, technically. Whatever that means, so... That's Demon Elemental, that's Magic Elemental, and the Halberd... I don't even know, probably nothing. Halberds never have anything, so don't worry about Halberds. Alright. So, just so you know, there's some differences and stuff like that. Alright, so... Anything else to change? No, I think we're good. So I should check for haggles. There might be new deals as well, so let me just pull this up. So good to have a guide for this when the weapon list gets so long. Okay, there is a new deal, but you might not notice it. The Venom Blade is new. So this was not here before, and in case you're wondering, I'll just look it up. I've got the page open right now, and this way you guys don't have to worry about it. The Venom Blade is not a Mithril Blade. This is a above Mithril weapon type quality, but it only has a B ranking attack up bonus, which is worse than A. So the Rune Blade is better almost all around. It has Dark Resist and a special skill, but it actually gives you less, like, even though it has, actually it's -1 damage from a Rune Blade, plus it has a worse weapon skill multiplier, and a worse magic skill multiplier. Weapon skill multiplier for magic damage. So it's like all... I just pressed a button. Okay. Did that wreck anything for you guys? Alright, it's just size of my window. No big deal. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Professional quality here. Yeah, so don't worry about that. The rest of the weapons were here before, or we've sold them, or dropped them in a battle or something. So, you can always pick them back up. We've got a 250,000 gold, by the way. Did you notice that? That's pretty awesome. None of these, like, non-mithril rods and wands are really worth it. Technically, once we find another blacksmith, we could make some more mithril weapons for our mages, because some of those are nice to have alternative spells, but most people don't need that many mithril weapons. Anyway, there's no haggles here. Oh, I might have missed something in there. Let me double check my walkthrough. There's a fair number of items. I think we've got the small mithril, the gold, the runes map. There's a goddess tier on a table that we missed. It's not a big deal. There's some more money. Oh, actually, we got pretty much everything. Okay, cool. Nothing to worry about. So I never found the item shop. Still missing one shop plus the secret area. Look at that house. Don't you think it's unsteady? Uh-oh, what's wrong with the item shop? The power source seems to be in bad shape. Well, maybe you should park it on the ground while the power source is in bad shape. I mean, if my house was shaking around because the helicopter spinner was starting to fail, I think I'd just land it. Maybe install a better door so the monsters wouldn't eat me. If you're planning a journey, you should look at my lifelike picture. Why do these people have so close to lifelike looking pictures when everyone else is clearly like cartoony? Weird. So they have the same kind of tier. I don't think there was a Shadow Helm last time, but that's the kind of equipment probably the samurai can equip. Although he's not quite a ninja, but I think it's weird because he actually I don't even know if I can give it to him. Oh yeah, we can still give it to Jubei. It's weird that he counts as a ninja for equipment, like the ninja weapons and shurikens and stuff. But he actually has less movement than a normal ninja. Like, he seems like he's kind of an odd bird sort of in-between class for some reason. There is 2 Hagels that we can get from this shop. And we could rebuy back a bunch of stuff if you needed it. I'll probably, you know what, we've got a ton of money. Let's pick these up right now. Even if I don't plan on using them just yet, I want to put them in storage rather than leave them in the shop. So if we get, like, you know, if we're in between towns, I can pull them out of the HQ and, you know, we'll have them ready to go. Goddess tiers aren't that important, though. Potions are pretty good, though. I'll put them in the headquarters storage in between episodes. Might as well buy them out of all this stuff. Like, we did a lot of haggling early on when we didn't have the money for it. When we didn't have the money to buy stuff. So I figured now we can afford it. We'll throw that in the inventory. And we got our first haggle immediately. White ring. I don't know. I mean, they're kind of rare. You can't craft them or anything. I don't know if I... Like, for anybody that doesn't use their physical attack, which is not that many people, but theoretically, they are pretty good for low defense, you know, mages and healers. Like, if we're going to use Primula, that would be great, but I don't think I'm going to switch anyone out for her. Also, Dawn Hort's defense is a little bit lacking. Maybe we'll just give it to Isabella. I know she's got the regeneration ring, but... Or... What did she have? Oh, that's the life ring. Yeah, regeneration. I don't know if +2... If 2 HP per turn is better than that. It's hard to say. But it does mean that, like, Isabella is, like, almost indestructible at this point. You know, she's got 5 defense from her Ankh, 10 defense from her ring. She's got a reasonably high base defense anyway. That's pretty good. Great. I mean, that just gives me my 2 healers a lot of defense. That's fine. I still need to get a better ring. As soon as we get to a blacksmith, I'll craft up a power ring for Kate. I might just make a power ring for Julian as well. We're kind of at the point where we've got so much HP that, you know, 2 HP regeneration per turn doesn't do very much. The enemies are doing 20 to 30 damage, you know. I think the defense is more valuable now, and the offense, than a little bit of regeneration. That's pretty good. We've mostly all got, like, the best type of equipment as far as I'm concerned. Or the best type of accessories. Let's see if we can get the last haggle, though. Gotta be thorough. You guys really want to see what Primula's stats are? I'm gonna make you wait till the end of the episode. Nah, we'll do it after we're done this shop. I promise. So, unfortunately, this is another one of those haggles that's not very important to get, but I just want to show it off. It's a cursed ring! Yeah, no, you don't really want those. Unfortunately, unless you find a way, or, like, if there's a way to be, like, lucky characters don't get cursed very often, if there's a mechanic for that, then you could use them, but that doesn't seem to be the way it works. Also, do they have a TV? That's supposed to, I mean, it's supposed to be a painting, right? Is that supposed to be something we recognize from a different game, maybe? This is all made by pre-Camelot, so maybe that's another game they made. Money! Etsuko's advertising journal. Advertising is thought to be glamorous, but in reality it's pretty boring. The hours are irregular, and my skin has gotten rough. I've had enough. I wonder if that's one of the designers. Or PR marketing people for the game. Alright, so Primula. I said I'd look over... Actually, I have to go back to the HQ to show her to her. Let's go to the secret area first. I sure hope you broke that barrel in your play-along. Seriously, Julian? Alright, we got a potion. That's worth a little bit. More as the HP gets higher. Ah, Orichalcum! I wonder what we can do with that. And a Mitra Ankh. So is the Mitra Ankh worth anything? So we got this weird blue-looking metal that can be forged by a blacksmith. Sounds good. And the Mitra Ankh is Thanatos. So, if we give that to Isabella... Switch that over. That gives her another crazy summon, basically. Does it have any associated stats? A little bit higher attack. I guess I can look it up while I'm on my screen here on the side. The Mitra Ankh. Ankhs. There's the Ankhs. So the Mitra Ankh is demon only. Ankhs are usually holy. They have an inherent holy attack. The Blessed Ankh, which is mithril, has holy and demon, but the Mitra Ankh is demon only. It's got equivalent stats to the support one we've got, the Blessed Ankh, or whatever it's called. But, I don't know. It's just Thanatos. Saint Ankh, yeah. It's the same thing, right? Oh no. What's the Saint Ankh? In my translation, it's not called the Saint Ankh. The Saint Ankh has support. So that's called the Blessed Ankh in other translations, if you're playing along with a different or an older translation. This is the one that has holy and demon on it. And critical. Like, this is probably the best attacking Ankh there is for weapon advantage and critical activation. It's also got a skill. It's got a pretty good spell. The only problem is it doesn't have, well, it doesn't have an offensive spell. The Holy Ankh for Aura was pretty good, but not for a healer that already gets Aura. There is, yeah, we've got the Raphael Ankh for Zephyrus. That's probably the best Ankh because of defense. But, if you want to attack physically, the Blessed, or the Saint Ankh is probably better. Alright, I'll hold on to the Thanatos one, but, I don't know if we'll ever use it. Thanatos is pretty expensive. And I don't think it's going to do enough damage to be that valuable. Like, Zephyrus is good enough if we want to use it as summon, and it's a little bit, quite a lot cheaper. Oh, before I forget, we should talk to the people here. I guess, well, we've got to wrap everything up this episode. First off, we want to move our blue dragon to the front. And the best way for me to show you my strength is to bring me into battle. I still don't know why there's a hole there. One of the dead dragons never let us... It never updated the list properly. I can imagine how life will change when creatures without wings can fly. Should you say, I can't imagine? At present, only one dragon can go. Yeah, we're clearly okay with recruiting dragons. Even I, with my dragon lineage, can't fly. Yet the Mayans have... Look, they just know how to make helicopters. It's not the same thing. It's not like they can make their people fly. Alright, so... Now, finally, you can look at our fairy. So, the fairy is a healer slash support. She starts with wands, although I'm pretty sure she can use Ankhs. So basically, if you want to use her, you have to give her that holy Ankh that gives her aura. Or else, you know, well, she's not a very good healer without aura. She comes with Zephyrus, so, like, compared to Isabella, you're just changing which summon, which equipment you have to use, and unfortunately she starts with a wand rather than Ankhs. So she doesn't start with a high-level Ankh for healing or weapon damage. The attack spell is good, and she probably gets level 2 attack and level 2 Zephyrus at some point. But she does need basically, I figure if you want to use her as a healer, she basically needs the Aura Wand, or the Aura Ankh. And that means, well, I don't know, it just means you have to train up another character. She gets magic defense and luck the same as the other healers, except she joins later. So everybody's already kind of friends with Isabella. So unless you want another healer, I don't know why you'd ever bring her. And I do like having someone with antidote. So attack spell is good, but you have to have aura. You can get Zephyrus from a wand as well, or from an Ankh as well as other attack spells. So we can just, you know, you can get support and whatever various attack magic you want from your weapon. But you kind of want to have these three as your baseline in my book, although, you know, the support spells like attack are good. Our main wizard already has attack, so having two people with that, I don't know. Just doesn't seem like it's that important. That's my thoughts on it. Technically, you have the unicorn with antidote if you want someone else with antidote. So you could bring... Like, I don't use a weapon that gives antidote, but technically you could go with Primula. Maybe more if you brought Roly, but I didn't really want to bring Roly, so that means I probably should not bring Primula. On the other hand, I believe she flies. 5 movement with flying is kind of nice, so that's a bonus. But her defense is lower than average. She's already level 19 promoted, and her defense is considerably lower than the rest of them. You know, even with the Ankh of defense, that's +5, 44, and then the white ring brings her up to 54. That's like 7 points lower than Isabella, so that's pretty significant. And I don't think she gets as much MP. Because she's a flying character, she's got slightly nerfed stats. You know, maybe a little bit low HP, MP, and defense, just because of that. And Jubei, I wonder, just quickly here, if he learns a 3rd spell... He does learn a strange spell that I don't know what it does. You know, if I get to the end game and level everybody up, we can show some of these people off before we finish the series up. But Resist is good, Soul Steal is kinda okay, and his 3rd spell, I don't even really know what it does, so we'll have to talk about that another time. But specifically because Jubei's movement is 6, I don't really think he's good enough. At least he's not really much better than Spiriel and the other characters. I like Spiriel more than him. Let's just leave it at that. And then I don't think Primula is very valuable. And of course, Pendulph, other than his support spell, I mean, he's not very good. I'll show you his summons at some point, though. When we're doing the training episodes, where we're, you know, surely there'll be a hero trial at the end of the game, we'll show off some of those characters again. Anyway, let's have a quick talk with people, and then we'll wrap the episode up. Winnie! Nay, Snow! Yeah, I don't know. The owl's gone, so we need someone else to fake talk. The northern continent is a new world for us. Earlier, we didn't even know a village called Maya. Somebody did, though. Benetrim knew. Old houses of Maya are floating above the clouds. You mean, it's not really floating like a cloud. It's like... helicopter. They're clearly not floating. They're being supported by blades. It's different. It's totally different. If we could export the knowledge of Maya to the southern region, its technology to make houses float, nobody would ever care about floating houses. That'll never catch on. No. I'm not cold, Julian. The floating houses made me nervous. Seriously, he turns into the cowardly lion in the last couple towns? People tried to fly in the past with the help of the winged races, but buildings were certainly never able to fly. Yeah, the flying buildings is dumb. Just... yeah, that's really not where we should be putting our energy. Gracia seeks to become an innovator and save the world, but what will it take to pass the trial? I love Brodin. If we could bring this flying structure to the Far East, we would be able to conquer the Far West and possibly the world. Alright, Jubei's totally not on our side. The first thing he thinks about is taking this technology to his homeland and then trying to conquer us with it. Alright, kill him. No wonder he's not on the team. The technology here. It's just like the technological revolution of the Empire. Perhaps the steam engine holds the key? That's the source of power, clearly. To fly a house in the sky. What a wonderful... No, it's terrible. You never get any sleep. Why does Gracia have to pass the trials in order to become an innovator? I don't understand. I'm old. While we are resting here, Synbios and Medion are advancing. We must hurry and pass the trials. Yeah, clearly. Do you remember Julian? Unric Kingdom, the Vandal, and Arthur who saved the kingdom? He, along with Rhodey the Ninja, Lisa the Soldier, and several other random names you've never heard of, prevented the fire from spreading to the other countries. I wonder if that's the same Arthur that we do know. Chirp. And finally, old King Benetrim. In order to protect Arkil, the Mayan people aren't allowed through the Great Wall Gate. In addition to being the site of the evolution ceremony, the Holy Ark is docked at Arkil. He knows a lot of things that he shouldn't know. Anyway, let's end this episode here. I'll clean up my inventory a little bit off camera, and next time we will leave and begin the trials. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you've enjoyed, and see you next time.